I'm Amanda, the Botanical Brunette, and welcome to my channel. This has been a video that I have been asked about so many times. I am kind of getting known for my all-white planters. I have been asked where I get them, how much they are, so I'm gonna go over a planter tour. There are two videos that I have just been kind of really wanting to do. One being a planter tour, and then the other one being how I decorate my plants, how I decorate my plant room, how I place my plants and that. So keep an eye out for that video because that video will be coming out soon. I'm just kind of figuring out how to film it. I love the fact that you guys love how I decorate my plants. I'm so flattered by it. I am kind of a little perfectionist when it comes to like home decor and like where my plants are. And there is a rhyme to my reason. I do put plants in certain spots for lighting and humidity and this and that. So I'm super flattered that you guys want to see all that, but I don't really know how to do it. So I'm still figuring out the kinks for that. So stay tuned for that video. But I wanted to go over my favorite planters. Now these are going to be planters that I have found to just be like my favorite. I just love the way that they look. I'm also going to kind of talk about how I styled it, why I put that plant in that planter. And just so you guys can get an idea of kind of just little like idea of like why I do certain things for my plants. Let's get into it. Let's look at my top 10 favorite planters in my planter tour. Now with all of my collection videos, I feel like I always have to say this. The first planter that you see, or the first plant or anything like that, is not my favorite. It's not the #1 favorite. It's not my least favorite. These are just kind of grabbed at random. Just so you guys are aware, just throwing that out there. So the first planter that I want to show you is this Monstera Planter. So you probably saw this planter in my March plant haul. I actually got this planter at Target. It was $3 for this planter. And it came with a drainage hole, which was the most surprising thing I think I have seen. I don't know why, but every time I find a planter that I like, it doesn't have a drainage hole. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, why? So this is just such a cute planter, honestly. I put a Monstera Stanleyana that actually hates me. It's always curled up. It's root rotted like twice. I don't know, it just hates me. But I figured, why not put a Monstera in a Monstera pot? So this planter, I absolutely, again, love white planters. I love anything with like a texture on it. Really just kind of like subtle texture. But I just love the very just like clean look of it. I just love the just a very subtle Monstera pattern on it. It's just so pretty. So that is a planter that I honestly, like, I always go into like TJ Maxx and Marshalls and all those places and I go right for the planters. And even if I don't need a planter, I'll get it if I love it. So this was one of those impulse buys at Target, always. But I had to get this planter. It was just my absolute favorite. So when I show you this next one, please do not judge the plant that's in it. We are rehabbing her. She is trying to come back, but I love this planter so much. And that is this little bubbly planter with this tiny little leaf. So this is my Alocasia odora. She's not doing great, but she just unfurled that leaf. I got this odora a couple months ago and it was great. It was perfectly fine. It was doing great. And I don't know, but all of a sudden it gave me all white leaves and it just gave me all white leaves. It kept giving me all white leaves. I moved it away from the sun. It still did the same thing. We have a little bit of green on there. If my camera will focus. Yeah, there you go. A little bit of green. So hopefully that will survive. Anyway, so this is about the planter. So this planter I got at TJ Maxx. I bought this a couple months ago And it's actually not a plant pot. It's actually a container for sugar or flour. But I saw this and I was like, I have to get it. And I wound up drilling a hole on the bottom of the planter. This was actually, I have the price tag on it still, it was $5.99 for this sugar container that has a drainage hole in it now. I love this planter just because, again, it's all white, and you may think all white planters are boring, but I get ones with texture. I get ones with little designs on it, lines or shapes or anything like that. And just the simplicity of this planter, just as a statement in itself, like I just love the like bubbles on it and stuff. It just gives it kind of like a cute little edgy look. But so this is one of my favorite planters with a very sad alocasia. So this next planter is a planter that I get questions about the most. This planter is probably my most loved planter by other people, and that is this cute little planter stand. Now, I got this at Hobby Lobby. I don't 100% remember how much it was. I think it was around, I always go to Hobby Lobby when they have like sales every once in a while for their planters or for like table decor. And I wound up getting this, it was like 50% off. So I think I wound up paying $3 for it. So it was probably $6 originally. I accidentally broke it. I had my philodendron peditum in this for a long time. If you haven't seen my philodendron peditum, go ahead and check out my favorite plants right now video and you'll see how big it's gotten. But that lived in there for a while, and now I have this cute Hoya polynera in it, and it's just adorable. It just like, it sits like perfectly like on my shelf, and it just fits this plant so well. Like, I'm gonna be sad when it outgrows this plant. Now, this again did not come with a drainage hole, so I had to put one in, but it came with like a little lump to put a drainage hole, so I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, this is my Hoya polynera in this adorable little golden planter. And actually, just so you know, this is actually attached, so I can't pull this off. So it's just so cute. Like, it's adorable. Like, it's, oh, I love it. The next planter that I'm going to show you started out with an actual purpose, and now it's just completely so outgrown that it just is defeating the purpose of me originally putting it in there. But this is this cute polka dotted planter. I don't even know if you can tell, but the polka dots are actually gold. So even though I have like all white planters, the polka dots, like just a little pop of gold. I've been loving gold pops lately. I even have a planter on this list that is not white. It's actually gold. I actually have two that are on here that are gold and not white. So I've been kind of veering into the the golden world. But so this is actually a bowl that I got at TJ Maxx. There's no price on it. I think I got it for, I want to say $5. I mean, I usually try to not get super expensive stuff, but I loved this so much that I was like, oh, actually, no, I got this at home. I didn't get this at TJ Maxx. I got this at home, but it's still a bowl. But I got it for like, I think it was still like $5. It was in the clearance section. I had to get it. It was super cute. And I'm like, oh, this will be perfect for this Rabophora because it crawls instead of trails. So I'm like, oh, this will be perfect. And now it's already outgrown it. And to be honest with you, I'll probably just leave it doing its thing just because it's just, I don't want to have to deal with it again. I'm already having issues with my Gloriosum with this like long like planter box, and I don't want to have to do that. I'm just over the crawling plants because you have to get these long, ugly planters. And so I'm gonna let them crawl out of the planter and maybe get a moss pole for it. I'm getting better with the moss poles, guys. But yeah, it's just super cute. Like, it's just, like, I just absolutely love it. Again, I love the like pops of like a small, like subtle neutral color. I don't really love like colors, but you know, that's just kind of my own personal preference. So I showed you a couple plants ago that I got that Monstera planter was from Target, and it had a drainage hole, and I was super excited and this and that. Well, I got this planter, which I absolutely love, and it also has another long traily piece, just like the Rapifora, but this Peru is in this cute planter. I fell in love with this. This was actually in the like Chip and Joanna Gaines like collection, and I probably paid way over for it. It was $15 for this planter, which I try not to. I'm so frugal. I don't have to be, but I'm really frugal. Like, I just try to find like the best deal I can. And this planter was an impulse buy that I really just did not need to spend $15 on, but it fits this Peru so well. Like, it just gives it kind of like, I don't know. I feel like planters are like the plant's outfit. That's weird to say, but it's kind of how I look at it, is like, you want to pair a plant that kind of, I don't know, gives the planter character. I've put plants in planters and I'm like, yeah, this doesn't work. I don't like it. Because this plant has so much texture and so much just like going on the foliage, that I wanted to keep it in kind of a smooth planter. That's kind of how I like to pair my plants and my planters. I like to like, okay, let's look at the foliage. Let's see. All right, so we're gonna put, because this has a lot of going on, we're gonna put it in a smoother planter. Where the Rapifora that you just saw has a smooth kind of shiny leaf. I was like, okay, well, I'll put it in a planter that has a little bit of stuff going on. So I don't know, it just kind of depends on the plant, honestly, and the planter, but this actually wound up fitting it perfectly. Now, it did not have a drainage hole, so I had to drill a drainage hole in there. I'm getting really good at that, guys. Like, I'm getting really good at the drainage hole. Soon I'll do a video, I promise. I just like absolutely love this planter. It's just super cute. It's super unique. And yeah. So the next planter that I got was actually another purposeful plant choice. So I put this plant in this planter because it really was the only plant that really looked right in the planter. This planter was empty for a long time until I got the plant, and that is this really ridgy planter. This really ridgy planter fits this Paradoxa so well. Like, it's able to kind of like sit in the grooves, which is weird. And I love the fact that like it just is so flat that it lets it kind of makes it look like it trails better, like trails more. But I just love the look of this. Like, it's just so pretty and unique. And yeah, I just loved it. Now, I know that I just said that I would probably normally pair this in a smoother planter, but it doesn't have a lot going on. Yeah, it is ridged, but it's not like super crazy wild. So I thought that it would fit this plant really well. But yeah, if I remember correctly, I got this planter for, again, when I go to Hobby Lobby, I always go when there's a sale, and I think I got this when it was like $4. I think it was like $4 or $5, again 50% off, so I was able to do that. Actually, no, there's a price tag. I got it for $9.99 and 50% off, so probably like $5. But again, always gonna drill those holes. I don't know why none of these planters have holes in them, because do they know who is buying them? But yeah, this is one of my favorite planters because it's just so unique and just so cool looking. It just sits on my shelf really well. And yeah, the next 4 planters are just planters that I am just not gonna move over here. I'm not gonna do that. So I'm gonna take you guys over to the planters. So let's go check those out. So this planter is my favorite because of the just cool uniqueness of the plant I love the like marbly look of the pothos in this skull planter. I actually put a couple cuttings in the skull planter of this marble queen for Halloween one year, and they just took off. So I've just kind of kept it going, and it's just been such a statement piece on my wall. I just absolutely love this planter. It's just so cool, and I don't know, I love it so much. Now, this was a planter. I actually got this at Ross. Probably got it, it's gotta be at least 3 years old, because I got it before the pandemic. But I got this planter, it didn't have drainage holes, so underneath I actually have, try to lift it, I have 2 drainage holes on the bottom. You guys can see I have one there and one there. So this was definitely something that I had to do. I had that plant in there without drainage holes for the longest time. So, but it's just so pretty. It's just, I'm honestly just letting it go crazy, because I just love the look of just the like craziness of the pothos. But that is one of my favorite planters because it's just so unique and so cool. I also get questions on this all the time. I show it off mainly around like Halloween time, but really like I have it out all year round just because it's just so cool and unique. So this is my next favorite. I'm gonna call this as one because it's one piece. I got this at Target. I believe it was like $20 for the planter. I love this because it, again, is just such a statement in my house. Like, it's so pretty. So the plants that are in there are actually in their own grower pot. I have to take all of these plants out to water them, just to make sure that I don't rust the gold on there. I don't know what kind of quality that is from Target, so who knows? It could be great quality, could be bad. But this just gives it such a pretty like vibe. I just absolutely love it. Eventually I'll probably switch out some of the plants in here, but I just love how this is looking right now. And yeah, it's just such a good like statement piece in my house. Again, and it's gold, so it's gonna be a little bit different than, you know, my normal white pots, but I just love it so much. So this is another one of my favorite pots. I love the like boho kind of like rainbow look to this planter. This was a purchase that I got at TJ Maxx or Marshall's. I don't remember which one, but I wound up finding it and it was $12 for that planter. And I was like, I have to buy it. Like, I have to get it. And I just thought that it, like, I don't know, I associate the Monstera with like kind of like boho vibes. So I thought the cute little like upside down rainbow was like really cute for the Monstera. I also get a lot of questions on this. I hate when I get questions on planters and I got them at like TJ Maxx because it's just so one-off. Like, I can't be like, oh yeah, go get like this planter. It's at Marshall's, but like every Marshall's is different worldwide. I had to put a drainage hole in this, which was a task in itself because it's so big. But I just love the like, just the, again, the cute boho look of it. I mean, my Monstera is growing so much that I may have to repot it, but hopefully like it will be able to stay in here at least another year. I think it will probably be good, and then probably next year I'll have to repot it. So right next to the Monstera is this gold-footed planter. So I absolutely love this planter because it is just gorgeous. It actually matches perfectly with my other like 3 pots that are over on the wall over there. It matches the metal perfectly. So I was absolutely in love with it. I actually want to go back and get more of them because like I just love the look of this. I also like the fact that the planter like is detached from the feet, so you can kind of like move it around, or you can even switch them up. You can get a different planter for this or stand, or you can just have this on a shelf and use the stand for another pot. I like that look of that, but I think it just like it. So this philodendron soderoy is in this planter, and I just think it just fits it really well. The only thing is, just like the other gold planter, I do have this in, I'm not gonna pull it out, but I do have it in like a terracotta pot. So I pull that terracotta pot out and I water it. I make sure it drains completely, and then I put it back in there. I do have a cover underneath it just to make sure that if it does drain out, it's not going to drain into the pot. That's the only problem with like these metal pots or these metal planters, is they're really pretty, but they're more of like a cover pot versus like an actual like planter. So that is my gold pot. I got this at TJ Maxx. I think I spent about, I want to say this was like $20 for this planter. I'm not 100% sure, but I think this was like $20, and like the bigger one was like $25. So I probably should have just gotten both, but it's fine for now. But yep, so this is another gold planter in my collection. So that's it for today, guys. Those are my planters. Those are my favorite planters right now, like my top 10. Eventually, like I'll do like a full-on tour. I just figured I would give you guys like a little intro because we would be here all day if I was gonna be talking about all my planters. Those are just kind of the more unique planters in my collection. I also buy a lot of like bulk planters. I have on my Amazon storefront, so you guys can check that out. They're all white. But I think some of them do have other colors. But that's just kind of some of my favorite planters. Mostly white, but I do have some gold that I'm starting to incorporate into my plant collection. But that's it for today. Let me know in the comments, like, what is your planter style? Like, what kind of style do you like to go for? Do you place your plants in certain pots for looks, or for, like, do you have a certain purpose for your planters? Let me know in the comments, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys all have a great day and stay botanical.